This lesson we'll be looking at inequalities and we'll be solving some inequalities. Now there's four symbols that you need to be familiar with when dealing with inequalities. So what I'll do is I'll write them out and then I'll talk through them. So this first symbol here reads less than. This second symbol here reads less than or equal to. So notice the only difference is we've got that extra little dashed line under the inequality sign. So you can almost treat that extra line as a little equals sign, so less than or equal to. This next one reads more than, and you can probably guess what the last one is. This one reads more than or equal to. Again, it's got that little extra dash under the inequality sign. More than or equal to. So, for example, if we have that reads x is less than 4. So let's have a look at a couple of questions. So the first question we'll look at is to solve x over 3 plus 4 is less than or equal to 6. Now, the trick with inequalities is actually to just treat them as exactly the same as you would a equation, a regular equation, until the final step. Sometimes the final step involves something that's a little bit different to solving equations, but not always. So we'll work through a couple of examples. So we're trying to solve for x. What we can do is bring this 4 onto the other side, so we'll get x over 3 is less than or equal to 6 minus 4, which is 2. And then we can multiply both sides by 3, so we'll get x is less than or equal to 6. And that's our answer. Now, sometimes you're asked to represent this on a number line. So, if we draw up a number line, let's plot a couple of numbers. So we'll put 6. You generally only need 3 numbers. So we'll do 6, one bigger and one smaller. And we know x is less than or equal to 6. So we know that x is down here. It's either 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, so on. Now, this circle here is really important. If our inequality is less than or equal to, or if it was greater than or equal to, we colour in this circle. And that tells us that x can equal that value there. The next question we'll do will be a little bit different, and we won't be colouring in the circle. So let's have a go at another one. Let's solve x plus 1 is less than 2x minus 5. Now again, for the first few steps, we treat this as we would for a regular equation. So we can actually just pretend that this here is an equals sign. So let's bring all the x's onto the left-hand side. So if we bring this 2x over to this side, we need to subtract 2x. So x minus 2x will give us minus x. And then we'll bring that 1 onto the other side. Minus 5 minus 1 gives us minus 6. Now, this is where it's a little bit different to the question we just did. We're trying to solve for x. At the moment, we've got negative x. Whenever we're solving inequalities and we multiply or divide by a negative number, we have to flip the inequality sign. So here, we're trying to solve for x. So to get x, we need to times this here by -1. If we times this by -1, we're going to get x. If we times this here by -1, we're going to get 6. And what we do is we flip the inequality sign. So that's the only difference between inequalities and equations. Solve the inequality as you would if this was an equal sign until your final step, where sometimes if you have to divide or multiply by a negative, you flip the inequality sign. So with this question up here, we didn't have to divide or multiply by a negative, so the sign could stay the same. Now let's plot this on a number line. So again, we only need 3 numbers, so we'll have 6, one bigger and one smaller, 5, 6, 7. We know x is greater than 6, so we know x is these numbers up here, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. Now this circle here, I'm not going to colour in because x is greater than 6, but it's not equal to 6. Because it's not equal to 6, we can leave this circle open. This question up here, x was less than or equal to 6, so we coloured the circle in. But here, we can leave it open. Now, there's just one last question that I'd like to do just on a number line. If we were asked to write -3, so if we want to represent -3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 0 on a number line, it's a little bit different to the two questions we did before. So if we want to represent this on a number line, let's draw our number line. We know that x is between -3 and 0. So let's make a marking for -3 and let's make a marking for 0. X lies somewhere between -3 and 0. Now, we know it can equal -3. So I'm going to put a circle here and I'm going to colour it in because we know x can equal -3. But it cannot equal 0. It can go up to 0, but it can't equal 0. So the circle we'll put here will be an open circle. And then to represent the values that x can be, we just need to draw a line. So notice that's a little bit different to the two previous questions we did. If we want to represent that on a number line, you need to be careful and make sure you've got the coloured circle and the open circle. So that's inequalities.